What is up YouTube? And today I'm going to be showing you guys how Nilu is so strong in Rengokutsu Inferno. Now there's already a ton of team comps for Rengokutsu, but she is a very good character if you're looking for a dark support to put into your team. As you guys know, you don't want to run a stacking elements. It's very bad in this boss because it makes the damage ramp up very quickly. So because of that, you're going to see that Nilu is a very good dark support option, especially if you're lacking Lily. So Sonia and Viper, they're pretty much going to be as staples in a lot of the safe comps. If you have like a Yelli and you're looking for something that can take the Lily spot because you don't have her, Nilu is going to be the perfect option. And we're actually going to showcase her in this team comp replacing Lily and how she is just as good, if not better than Lily in this team comp. Now, if you guys are actually missing Lily and Yelli, there's other team comps you can run with her. I've seen people run Sonia, Vice, Nilu, and like Giada. And also Sonia, Vice, Nilu, and Rosa, and it has worked just fine. So basically, I'm going to show you guys this team. We're going to look at the stats and why it's so good, and basically break it down and just show you guys the run at the end of the video. But before we start today's video, you know how I'm always deep in the strategy games or breaking down team comps? Well, I found something new that seriously grabbed my attention: Marvel Strike Force. It's a squad-based RPG where you build a team of Marvel heroes and villains like Iron Man, Wolverine, Venom, and a ton more, and then take on enemies across the multiverse. And yeah, I know it's a mobile game, but don't let that fool you. It's packed with depth with modes like Arena, Blitz, campaigns, and massive alliance wars where team synergy actually matters. By the way, if you want to try it out, use my link in the description or scan the QR to download Marvel Strike Force for free on mobile or PC. Right now is actually the perfect time to jump in. Marvel Strike Force is celebrating Marvel Studios' Fantastic Four First Steps by giving away the entire Fantastic Four squad for free. Just use the promo code MSF4 and you'll instantly get Mr. Fantastic, Invisible Woman, The Thing, and Human Torch. This team is awesome for early game progress and PvP like Arena and Alliance War. There are constant updates too, like Ironheart joining the roster soon, and a brand new legendary character, Quasar, available through a limited time event. And in August, you can unlock movie-inspired versions of Mr. Fantastic and Invisible Woman through the Fantastic Force event. So if you're into strategy, team building, and anything Marvel, this is one game you'll actually want to keep coming back to. Don't forget to use my link in the description or scan the QR code now to download Marvel Strike Force and grab your free Fantastic Four squad. I'll see you in game. Now back to the video though, guys. So I'm going to show you guys my Nilu first. She's amazing in this boss for a lot of reasons. So first off, you want to max her S2 and S3 just to get the cooldowns as low as you can. These abilities are so strong in PvE, so you want to make sure you get them to the lowest cooldown as possible. Her S3 will make it so that you have a 3-turn speed buff on a 3-turn cooldown, so you basically have 100% uptime on speed buff for your team if she's the fastest on your team. In this team comp, she's going to be very close to being the fastest. The only thing is Sonia will overtake her with her turn meter push, so besides Sonia, you'll be applying speed buff to basically everyone on your team permanently, which is insane. And she also has this vulnerable buff. So vulnerable is very strong because it just makes the enemy take 30% extra damage. And if you overlap this with a defense break from Yelli, you're going to see that the boss takes massive damage. And Yelli has a defense break, so if you actually pair this with Yelli's S3 and her defense break lands, the boss just takes a crap ton of damage and you're going to speed up the run by a lot. It's a big reason why she's very strong. Vulnerable debuff is super good, and I don't think people realized until she actually came out. But this is a very good debuff to have on bosses, especially if you stack it with defense down. Next we have her S2. So this ability is very powerful as well because it pushes the ally with the highest attack and also heals them. So it's actually going to heal and push 4 times. So it says 12%, 20%. Because it hits 4 times, it's actually 48, 80%. I don't think people know that. That's why she's so good. So she's going to be able to cycle your Yelli very quickly. So after Yelli S3s, she can cycle her with this S2 right after, and Yelli will get another attack off into the defense broken vulnerable boss and just do a lot of damage over and over. Another thing that's really good about this is because our Yelli's not going to be on Bloodbath on this setup to speed up the runs, if you actually tune your team to have Sonia's attack, which is going to be here, I think it's 1800, higher than Viper's, which is going to be about 1750, then what ends up happening is she pushes Sonia when your Yelli dies. And this is very important as well, because if your Yelli dies, you want to actually res her as soon as possible. So you can actually push your Sonia this way too, which is hilarious, and it makes it so that the runs are very safe. Then we have our S1, another chance to apply vulnerable. Maxing this out would be great because 1, you get extra speed, and 2, you actually get the extra duration on the vulnerable. But it's not required because you're already cycling very quickly, and your S3 will make it so that you have vulnerable on the boss for 2 out of 3 turns, and because you have speed buff, you will lap the boss sometimes and be able to just constantly apply it. And of course, you might get lucky sometimes and apply this S1 vulnerable as well. Now for your modules, you go Swift Rush, Bloodbath. I think it's pretty much required because you don't want her to die that much. And she's pretty squishy because you're going to be running her on effect accuracy. So you want 2 effect accuracy right side pieces. And then the third one, you can go another one. I like to run an HP bonus one to make her a little bit more tankier. And because you're missing some effect accuracy because of that, what you can do is on your shell, you just run Gaze, which will allow you to get effect accuracy at the end of every turn. And because you cycle very quickly with speed buff, you will stack this very fast. Now Artisan is very good because it will allow you to make yourself more tankier and also apply a shield to your teammates. I don't think there's any other options, to be honest. You can run her probably on something like Gigabyte if you really wanted to, but Artisan just feels the safest and I think will make the runs way more consistent. Of course, speed on the second passive and HP percent on the first one is going to be the best. And now let's look at our Sonia here. So Sonia is going to be on a max lattice setup, pretty much required for Sonia in every single comp for Rengo because all of her skills benefit so much from lattices. And basically for the build, you're going to run either 12 Swift Rush and 12 Wellspring, or 12 Swift Rush and 12 Bloodbath. It is really up to you. They're both very good. Wellspring heals your team more, Bloodbath makes your Sonia harder to kill. So she's going to rarely ever die anyways, so it just pretty much feels like she's on Bloodbath regardless. Now for your shell, you want to run her on Fortissimo. This is the best shell by far on her. You want Shadow Dash, you want HP percent, and then the last one you either go for Synergy, or you can go for Dauntless here, which will make you take less damage, which is also very good. You want to make sure her speed's pretty high, aim for about like 250-ish. A little bit lower is fine, but if her speed's higher, your runs will be safer because she can cycle quicker, and that way she'll be able to res your Yelli faster or whoever dies. So, very good to have her fast and on very high health. Now for Viper here. So Viper, all you need is S3 max. S2 max is very good as well. I have him maxed because for PvP, you will max him anyways. So if you want to make your runs more consistent, just go ahead and max him for Rengo because you'll be able to use him in PvP against cleavers. And he's very good here because, he applies attack down and speed down, which is great. And he also reduces the damage that your team takes from crits. And he's also going to be able to counterattack with his S3 as well, so you can build him a bit slower. So because of that, you have him on 12 Bloodbath and also 9 Swift Rush. You can run him on 12. I actually have him on 9 because of the fact that my other Artisan shell doesn't have Swift Rush Bloodbath 3-3. So I have him at 9, it works just fine, or 8 even. And it's going to be the same setup as Nilu. You want to run him on effect accuracy. I have him on 1 HP bonus to make him a little bit more tankier. And then because of that, I have him on Gaze on the shell so that he gets more effect accuracy similar to Nilu. Yeah, basically the same setup as Nilu, just so that you can make him a little bit slower. It doesn't really matter. And basically you just want to make him have around like 200 plus speed at the very least. I have him at 220. It's obviously better to have him faster. And then you want to have him at a decent amount of effect accuracy. You want him to be at 200 ideally, which I get from stacking up my Gaze. Next we have my Yelli here. So my Yelli's on a full damage setup. You can run her on Bloodbath if you want, but if you're running Nilu, I highly recommend just running her on full damage because you will have the Sonia to res her anyways with her S3. And she wants full damage because not only do you have the defense break now from just yourself, but you also have Nilu's vulnerable, so just doing as much damage on the opener is very, very good. And you're going to see that when you have your defense break with the vulnerable on the boss, she just does crazy amounts of damage when you're doing the runs. I have her on Harvest, Fury, Fury Edge. The Matrix combination is really up to you. I think Harvest, Fury, Fury Edge is the best for Rengo. You can go Onslaught, Fury, Fury Edge. You can even go something like Onslaught, Harvest, Fury Edge, even Momentum, Fury, Fury Edge. But I think Harvest, Fury, Fury Edge does feel the best in terms of damage. And you want her on Revelation because this is just going to make you burst super hard on your S3 windows. Basically, I have her on crit damage, attack, attack. You want to stack as much attack as possible with 1 crit damage mod because you don't want 0 crit damage, of course, because you want to just abuse your revelation damage. Yeah, this is my Yelli build. I'll show you guys the run now. It's pretty stable. It's about like 230, and then the runs are gonna be at about like a 90-ish% win rate. You could probably make it higher with better gear. I think the biggest thing is I don't have my Nilu's S1 maxed, and by maxing this, I'll be able to make her faster and have this vulnerable apply more, which will make it so that the runs are faster, so therefore the boss won't enrage as quickly. So I'll show you guys the run now. It's pretty simple. My Sonia goes first, cleanses, and also heals my team. My Nilu goes next, applies vulnerable, and then my Viper S3s, no speed down, which is unfortunate, and then my Yelli goes. She never dies here, so don't worry about her health. And we land defense break, and you can see we are doing a ton of damage to the boss already. Now the best part here is Nilu goes again. She's gonna push up Yelli before the boss, and I do even more damage on this window, which is great. Did get kind of unlucky here with the amount of attacks we got, but it's okay. We still did a third of the boss's health on the opener, which is great. And we did miss the vulnerable from Nilu, but it's fine. You're basically just playing for the Yelli S3 damage if you're using her. If you're using other DPSs, then you're just playing for overall damage. But Yelli is a character that you're just bursting very hard on S3 because she dispels herself as well. You're gonna see that I get rid of attack buff and we do a lot of damage here. And you can see vulnerable defense break. We're basically doing a third of the boss's health on every S3. And if you actually do get lucky and get more follow-up attacks, you do even more damage. And you can see Nilu pushes my Yelli again. And you can kind of see why she is so good in Rengokutsu, right? We are, I think, just about to start getting 2 stacks of evil fire, not even, and the boss is almost about to die. And if you're wondering why I'm running them on Bloodbath, if this can kill the boss very quickly, it's because in the cases you do get unlucky and don't land your debuffs, with Bloodbath, you make it so that you still can win. And here we go, third S3, defense break again, and the boss should die. Oh, very close, but we can push Yelli here. Sonia is basically keeping my team at full health, and Yelli just kills the boss. And that is pretty much the run. You can see, like I said, it's about 2 to 230. It's going to be very consistent, about like a 90% win rate. And basically, highly recommend using this team if you have access to these characters because it'll be one of the most stable and quickest teams that you can do. But yeah, thank you for watching, guys. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next video.